Howdy guys, welcome back to Secret Man. I just put Gnome on my R1 button so I could do this. Whoop. This guy acts a little different. If you destroy both of his eyes, he'll start repeatedly spamming this earth attack on you, and it's really kind of disturbing. I almost want to see it, to tell you the truth. Because in the original it looked really weird. You would like start floating in the air and reaching out. Like in those horror movies when they're dragging somebody away and you can see their hands reaching out trying to... fingernails on the floor and all. Well, it's kind of like that, but there's like this circle of rocks going around you. Like an asteroid belt around a planet or something. And then he pulls you up towards the side of himself or something. It's like really freaky. Go for that energy absorb. And let's just gem this one more time here. Actually, why don't we charge our spear while we're at it? Let's have some real fun here. And that gnome isn't actually doing that much to him, so... I think this guy's more of like a dark elemental, so he'd be weak to light. But we don't have light yet, unfortunately. And even if we did have it, it's expensive as hell anyway, so... You know, even if I got the judgment, you just stick me anyway. So what I'm gonna do is piss in mode like an impotent jerk, and then bend over and take it up the tailpipe. Let's see if he does it. There it is. Cave in. It's not like it doesn't do that much damage, that move, but probably mostly because we bought all that armor when we got here. Whereas there he goes. See, it does still do it. And that does do a pretty little bit of damage, but. It's better than the alternative, which we saw with the last palette swap of this boss, or whatever you want to call it. Ah. Alright, I say we finish this up. I might switch back to Fireball here, though. Yeah, see, sometimes it does 153, sometimes it does like 2 digits. There's such a variable there, it's hard to tell sometimes. Ah, there we go. Easy schmeezy. What do you say we refill our magic before we walk through that door? Chain the whip orb. Alright then. So there you think the dungeon's over, we just beat the boss. I mean, oh, what else is there to do? No, not more bullshit. Yeah, wait, I gotta take a look around here. These guys are like zombies in here. Jeez. Door! Doesn't open. Oh. Can I use a bomb like Zelda? No. Oh man.
At last. I've missed you so much.
Oh, Dyluck. I'm so glad you're safe. Oh.
Are those new contacts? Always doing the M&M thing. That one M&M that always has half of his mouth open.
What are you doing? Pesky girl.
Where did you send her? Bring her back now!
The mighty Thanatos has need of her. Or more specifically, her blood.
How could you? You have no soul! Do you know how worried she's been for your sake? I don't care if you're under some spell! She loves you! And you've gone too far!
Yeah, you get him, Randy.
Ouch! What have I been... No. Thank you. I can think clearly again.
Those damn contacts, I tell you.
Move! Are you crazy?
Please, help her. She's in terrible danger. There's a door behind the altar. Go!
Here it is!
So if you want, you can go back and talk to him again, but it'll just replay the cutscene, so... Or the last few lines of it. Oh, there she is.
You should stick around. This girl's life force is stronger than I expected. She'll make a fine specimen. What? No! This is impossible! How?
Where am I? What's wrong with you two?
We can move!
I see. Dyluck must have transferred some of his life force into her.
Because you can just do that.
He never fails to impress. All the more reason why we can't let him slip from our grasp. I have no more need of you fools. Vampire, do with them as you will.
Okay, so Vampire's not as cute as he was in the original, and that's probably for good reason, because you always feel bad killing him in the original. Whereas here, it's kind of like, well, just gonna spam him. So you just gotta watch his shadow, and when you see him come down to the ground, and you just unleash your attack. Otherwise, you can just stand here charging. He doesn't seem to come down as often in this one, but I've only fought him once, so I couldn't be sure. There it goes. Yeah, 188 damage, not bad. So let's grind up our gem missile while we're here. Let's see, do we need cure? We really don't. Why don't we, might as well. So now we're gonna cast Gnome and Salamander at the same time. Earth, fire, go! I don't have any air for you, but that's okay. Oof. Wow, that freeze, though. Oh, wait, no, he's on the ground. Let's just... physical. When it wants to work. I was kind of surprised I could target him there just now. It seemed like he was too far off the screen. In the original, there was this thing where you could target enemies that even if they were like a little bit off the top of the screen, and then if they were too close to the bottom of the screen, you couldn't, even if you could see them. Which made me think that like the hitbox for being able to target an enemy with magic was a little bit higher than the actual screen was while it's showing. So, I don't know. I don't know if that's still a thing or not, but the fact that it let me target him there just now makes me think that maybe. Man, this guy's even easier than he was last time. I am a little bit more leveled because I remember last time I used that grinding spot in the castle, which I'll talk about later. It's like probably one of the best spots in the game for where you're at. And I used that spot to get to level 32, which is where I am right now, so... And when I got there, I was only at 30, so I'm like 2 levels higher than I was last time. There we go. Man, getting all the shitty orbs today, aren't we?
Where's Dyluck? Dyluck! Dyluck!
Hey.
We should go.
Don't worry. What matters is that he's alive. I'll find him again. I know I will. I know it.
Well, there you go. 2 bosses more down, and magic rope to get on out of here. Oops. Oh, but it took us to that other entrance, though, didn't it? That's one reason why you might want to actually go and forge those orbs when you pick them up. So that way, when you actually enter the dungeon, to finish it, you then get done with it, the magic rope takes you back to the last entrance you entered from. Which in that case would be the actual middle entrance. Well, I guess we're gonna go ahead and head back to the resistance base here. Or excuse me, the resistance base. Don't tell anybody.
What's wrong? I see. So Dyluck has... Now's not the time to lose hope. We discovered this was all Thanatos' doing. But it looks like you already knew that. We've gotten word that the Emperor wants to call a truce. It's hard to believe. He says he wants to disband the army and restore the Empire. we trust him?
I don't know.
Chrissy won't listen to anything the Emperor says since she lost Song. Finally, we've managed to make the Emperor change his mind.
It's what this resistance movement has been working for so long. Should we go?
We'll go. Come with us. This is it. Dyluck will be himself again, and there'll be no need to worry about the Mana Fortress anymore.
We'll go on ahead.
I mean, it's kind of unbelievable that they were able to make her change her mind there, but at the same time, like, it would have just been wasting time to go through with it, considering that she's not that big of a character in the game, you know, so last thing you want to do is be wasting time, you know, with things like that. So I think that's why sometimes stories in games tends to be a little unbelievable. It's just because it's necessary to get the plot moving, you know.
Why is there so much sand in the desert? My shoes had more sand than feet in them.
Remind me never to visit a desert again. All the moisture in my hair and skin is gone.
That's what you're worried about?
Skincare aside, it's impossible to sleep with so much riding on our shoulders.
You were snoring last night.
What was that?
Nothing.
All this desert talk is making my throat bone dry.
Ugh, I hate the gritty feeling of sand in my mouth.
Water. I need water.
What do you need of me?
I'm thirsty.
You're using magic for that?
Understood. Here you are.
I guess Undine's okay with it.
So as you can see, we are still behind in the cutscenes, but at least we're up to the desert, so there is that. But then they're gonna have cutscenes for Ice Country and Santa Claus, and makes me wonder.
Smells like a war's a brewing in this town. Trust me, I've been around weaponry all my life. Any of your weapons in need of an upgrade?
Well, we certainly got the money here, don't we? Well, we're gonna be spending it definitely a little bit here. You'd be surprised how often the weapon forging costs you. Or how much it really... Well, it didn't knock me down too much there. Wow, what do I do here? Because if I go into the castle and I don't get Flammy, that means I gotta cliffhang it there. And I mean, if I have to do that, I guess I just do. Not a big deal. I like what they did with this music.
Welcome, honored guests. The Emperor awaits you.
Huh? Where's Chrissy and the rest of them?
Uh-oh. Why are these chairs all crooked? Y'all gonna take care of your dining room?
My. What a day to remember. Perhaps I shall make it a national holiday. Let's commemorate the day that pesky resistance was eradicated, right along with the foolish hero of legend.
Well, there you go.
Oh, there's a big surprise! That's an incredible... I think I'm gonna have a heart attack and die from that surprise!
Pipe down! Curses was a trap!
Let us out of here!
I should have known better. Ugh! Emperor Van Dole calls himself a ruler? He's nothing but a dirty dog.
Yeah, you tell that asshole.
Quiet. So you want out, huh? Fine.
Let the others out!
Relax. Don't want to be too hasty now. Let's start with you.
Ugh. Oh my god, this guy. Man, we totally could have kicked his ass there, though. You can't even make me believe that we couldn't have kicked his total ass into total oblivion. So I'll throw out a fire bouquet while we're at it. It's mostly a physical attacker, this guy. No particular weakness that I know of. So, physical attacks in return. Also, he's apparently very stupid. Except for when he does that. Wow, that might do some... yeah, that's pretty good. So, wait here. Yeah! Nice. A few more regular hits ought to do it here. Let's get you from behind. I'll cut off your chunky little tails you got going there. Or we can just do that. Alright. No problem. Not sure why this arena is shaped like a heart, but it's kind of cool. I wish there was something in there. Maybe one of those secret weapons from FF15 or FF5 rather. Wait a minute, I think I missed a chest over there. Double check this. Yeah, this won't take long. I was thinking this is gonna take like 15 minutes or something. Yeah. Oh, it's over there. Of course! Yeah, this is kind of a weird dungeon. It goes through long spurts where there's no monsters at all. And then just random rooms have monsters in them. And it's like, well, holy crap. So, one of the best grinding spots in the game, as previously mentioned, is right here. Basically, you set... let's see, we're gonna set Sprite to freeze. Actually, send to auto freeze here. And then just go R1, left, B, or in PlayStation's case, X, and just do that. Once you get it to level 4, you'll almost always be able to kill them all with one spell. Otherwise, you might just do it twice, I don't know. But yeah, for this you'll get like, I think 6,000 experience points. And they drop fairy walnuts. Or sometimes mimics. Jeez. I actually didn't see that coming. But the fairy walnuts is one of the reasons why this is a good spot, since you don't have magic absorb yet. 3756, so about 2,000. It's not 6,000. The thing I couldn't remember was whether it was 2,000 each, or 2,000 for all three of them. 2,000 for all three of them makes a lot more sense though, because it does not take that long to do this. It's like 30 seconds, maybe 20 once you can one-shot them. So you're doing that 3 times a minute, so you might say 6,000 a minute. And just like that, you know, you're gaining levels without even thinking about it. And like I said before, they drop fairy walnuts, so you never run out of magic either. Well, what did I just talk to them, I guess?
Thank you! We gotta get out of here before those soldiers report back. I'm sure the guards are already on their way. Let's split up.
You know, you would think if we were as important as they say we are, they would have had a lot more security here.
Wow! That was incredible!
Dude, did you just walk off the set of...
I should have known better.
Yeah, well, how are you supposed to know? You grasp onto whatever hope you can in this life, you know? You see a chance like that. I thought I found, like, the perfect job one day when, I got recruited into something that turned out to be, like, a multi-level marketing scheme. Don't ever do that, you know? Because it doesn't work. Well, it's funny because when I first got on the internet, that was one of the first things that happened to me. I got sucked into one of those. And I remember, like, writing down entire notebook sheets worth of email addresses to send to people saying, hey, do this, and I checked out a P.O. box and everything for it. It's one of the really weirdest parts of my life, honestly. And I actually managed to get, like, 2 people to send me $5, but beyond that, nothing ever happened. It might have been 3 people, I don't know. But that's all I ever got from it. So, I invested $20, I got back 15. I should be surprised I got back anything at all. Well, that definitely wouldn't work these days. People have smartened up a little bit these days to things like that. A couple wishes won't fit. But the Lives Orb will, which we're about to go get here. These guys feel a little bit tougher than they did before. Not much, but just enough. And it's the whole missing thing, you know, that helps. Before, it felt like you hit these guys every single time. He's not going for it, is he? They're not going for it, Chewie. We better get out of here. There we go. Yeah, I think I was saying before that like the boss's HP hadn't been changed. But I read somewhere that the real reason that the bosses seem easier is because they don't have as many invincibility frames as they did before. So like before, you know, and it was definitely noticeable before that your party members would just hit and hit and hit and not score any damage. But and in this one it's more like they score it almost every time. Even though there's like the whole missing thing still. They get a lot more shots, a lot more chances to do damage. And they are more aggressive. Yeah, that was 2 orbs there, so definitely no complaints out of me. I'm just gonna skip past all these dudes so we can get to this here. Definitely after the whole cannon travel thing, you know, not going into a cutscene like it did before, which I wouldn't have guessed that that would have been one of the biggest disappointments, but it turned out to be. I guess I wasn't the only one who appreciated things like that from the original game. But, yeah, so with that being taken out of the game, left me wondering, okay, what's the overworld gonna look like? Just to figure, well, if Flammy's in the game, then there has to be an overworld, right? They could just have that out. Like, if you went into Flammy and he just took you to a list and said, where do I want to take you? Or where do you want me to take you? And then you just picked from a list and it just warp you there. A la Final Fantasy X. You know? Not that it's on Final Fantasy X, I love that game, but still. Like, seriously, when did the overworld stop being a thing? Anyway. But yeah, fortunately that's not the case. I did see a screenshot which kind of spoiled it for me, but before I saw that screenshot, there was a part of me that wondered, you know, if the cannon travel doesn't take you to an overworld, maybe Flammy doesn't either. This is a castle. This is also one of those dungeons you can't get back to later. So, definitely make sure you kill everything there is here if you want to get that bestiary. These ninjas don't seem nearly as bad as they were before. Before, yeah, well, they make themselves invincible and stuff, but there were just times in the original when they would just come out of nowhere and do a really massive hit on you. Especially later in the game. Whoa! What was that? Got a thing here, so let me actually check the guide and see. Oh wow, this is like totally filled out now. Okay, so that other type of dark funk probably could have gotten that in the forest. Unfortunately, he showed up later. Mad Mallard is in the desert. Got all those already. Yeah, so I think we're okay actually. Then we got the Ember Man, we got the Dark Ninja, we got the Armored Man, we got the Imps. Did we get the book? Or is that this? Yeah, it might have been a Mystic book. There is a lot of overlap when it comes to like monsters showing up in different areas. So you have more than just one chance to get them. Case in point, the infamous, what do you call him again? The Bart Simpson looking guy? The Basilisk, yeah. Well, more on him later. This dungeon is longer than I remember. So can't go to the left here. Sorry guys, you were going the right way, I was wrong. Look at all these beds in here. What do they do with this room? Is this like the infirmary or something? It reminds me of Chrono Trigger a little bit. This room is bigger than it was before. Sure looks bigger. And you can't go through those. Because you can't. They're triangles. Bombs! Triangles! This is just a really weird room. It's like you come around the right side, the triangles in the floor warp you to the left side. There's no apparent rules to any of this, it's just how it happens to be for this one room in the game. And then these here will knock you back, but then you hit the switch on the wall, and it still knock you back, so you hit it again. You have to be in like a certain spot for this to work. I had a little trouble with this switch last time, actually. I can imagine someone who hasn't played the game before would probably be like, what the hell am I supposed to do here? Now I can walk over it. But it didn't look like the Switch really changed visually, so I don't really know. They might have changed it so you just have to kill the ninja? I don't know, though.
Back. I should have guessed the legendary swordsman could handle a fight.
You better believe it.
I see how Geshtar and Thanatos could have such trouble.
Your Majesty, one more chance, please!
Why not? I'm off to the palaces. You finish them and come to me.
What palaces, anyway? Like, there's like 8 different ones.
Yes, sir.
I guess he's going to each one at a time or something.
To reclaim my honor, prepare yourself!
Okay! Bro, this guy just gets weirder and weirder every time you fight him. Just wait till you see the 3rd fight. Jeez. That is a weird-ass fight. Ice and fire at the same time. It's called Antipode. Also, that didn't do crap. I'll just charge my axe while you guys absorb all the damage here. That's good. Oh, Sprite's gonna get dead. That's okay. We got cups. We got plenty of cups. This guy has an attack also. It's called Wave Beam, I think. And it's really powerful. I know in the original it was. It could do upwards of 200 damage to you. Whereas nothing else in the game up to this point could do that. So it's kind of weird that this punk would end up with that attack, but there it is. See, oh, I thought that was on him. I was like, geez. Oh, these missiles are so annoying. Better do it myself. Switch to you for a second. Wow, look at that spear. That looks cool as hell. Shoot, oh, Randy died that time. Holy jeez. It's the first time that's happened. Well, not the first, but definitely... I don't know what's on, what this guy's doing. Alright, can we... Oh, seriously. Oh, the menu's getting to me here. Like, it's so different, you know? Sometimes, every now and then, it still happens. I just, like, stop and panic and I forget how to use it. Plus, I don't have Cure Water on L1 anymore, which means I have to do this instead. So, I suppose. I didn't think I would need it that much here, but well, that's where we're at, so... Oh, well, there you go. It didn't feel like I'd done any damage to him at all there. I thought maybe I'd done maybe 300 or 400 at most. Maybe that magic spell at the beginning did more than it looked like it did? I don't know.
This is the end of the line. I'm going to burn this whole place down!
Oh no! This could get ugly! What's that sound? Is that... truffle?
Am I too late? Bet you want to hear how I got here, huh? I came here on Flammy, of course. He's gotten so big, you know, he can even fly. He just took off all of a sudden, so I hopped on, and now I'm here with you guys. He might be big, but he's still a baby. I think he thinks you're his parents and was feeling a little homesick. Here, take this Flammy drum. I've been training him with it. It's his favorite toy. Just sound this drum, and he'll come straight for you. Anyway, let's blow this popsicle stand. Oh, actually, could you drop me off in Matango on your way? Just head southwest from here.
Okay, yeah, when I first saw this cutscene, I was like, wait a second, no, they didn't. They didn't totally, like, take out the animation of him flying in from the sun, you know, and all that. To be fair, this looks cool, too. I wouldn't have minded seeing what we were flying up from, like a burning castle or something. There it is. That's what we wanted to see. Once again, us Secret of Mana purists. I don't know if I go so far as to call us that, but here we are. This is your overworld. Boy, does it look pretty. You can also tell this is like the... You can't really move the camera that much. You can kind of go overhead like this if you want, which you could do before. Then you can kind of just fly over, and it shows you where you are when you fly over stuff too, so you don't just have to second guess when you land. That's the witch's castle there. Down over there's the water palace. It's easy to forget how close those are to each other. And then up here's the upper land. There's the cannon travel there. Forest of Seasons looks cool. Sometimes there's little small groups of buildings that look like they would be something, but they're not. And you can't like land on them either. The controls for the most part are pretty much the same. It feels like you fly a little bit slower, but I think part of the reason for that might be because the world is a lot more condensed than it was before. Because before there were like vast screenfuls of ocean. It was really easy to get lost. But now, like I could go over here and float over Southtown, and you can see the desert from here. You're not supposed to be able to see the desert from Southtown. But that's how it is now, so there's a lot less ocean. The face is there too, we'll see that eventually. This was also a lot harder to find because it was just a tiny little speck, seemingly, in the grand universe. And then over here, obviously we have Tasnica here. So it's all pretty much the same as it was, it's just condensed a little bit. So it feels kind of a little small sometimes. But, what is that? Does it just look cool? Just something to look cool? There's so much here that looks like it would be something, and it's just not. What is that thing? Oh, that's Southtown. Didn't realize I was back here again. It makes you wonder, though, if like, because a lot of the Japanese translation never made it to the US because of the SNES limitation and all. It makes me wonder if this area wasn't supposed to be something originally. Because it sure looks important. Even like this little chunky castle here. And it's like, all of a sudden, you're just at the Empire, and it's like, hey, wait a minute. Didn't think it'd be that easy. I mean, they do have you, like, still sneaking in and stuff. Anyway, well, Cave of the White Dragon right here, buddy, if you want to go home. Well, he asked us to go to Fun Castle, so let's do that. Also, we need to end off this episode, because I'm getting way up there on time.
How do you like riding good old Flammy? If you ever get lost up in the clouds, you can use his specially honed senses. You'll find the lofty mountains to the southwest. What you seek is there. Sad
Got it.
to see him go, but it's time. Come back and visit me again, okay?
Wow, you just came out of nowhere.
I'm sure, King Truff.
Alright, that's enough. Oh man, these characters and their voices.
Took your time, huh? I figured you'd stop by here.
I know. Just checking to see what we got here.
I've been waiting.
You can upgrade that axe, hell yeah. See, I like how before, like when you forge something, it's a silver whip to 6, but before, when you would forge it, it would show like what the weapon was, but now it's like you need more ore, so you have to go to a different weapon and then back to it to see what it actually is. It's kind of, it's just one of those tiny things, you know? It says, okay, I'll forge it, and when you hit it again, you need more orbs, so you have to go away and go back to it to see what it is. It's just, I don't know why I needed to show that twice, but it's not that big a deal. That's like a few small button presses. Once you get used to it, it's not a big thing. Oh, that's right, no cutscenes here. Well, let me go somewhere where we can get one, because we're still way behind on those. I guess I can also show the flaming drum here. There it is right there. I like the way the drum looked in the cutscene. The way the one ball is hanging off the side. I also love that it's the thing from Karate Kid 2. Like, I've never seen that thing, aside from Karate Kid 2 and this game. Like, holy crap, like, what is that? What's that all about? Got no idea. Does Southtown have an inn? No, let's just go to Kikara. So you can pretty much go anywhere now, it's kind of neat. It's kind of cool getting to see this from above. To see what this actually looks like here. It's the village there. It looks like there's something there too. It's just, oh, it cripples my OCD, man. It really makes you wonder. Anyway. It would have been so cool if there had been like no transition at all from the overworld to this world, but I wouldn't have expected that. That would have been a little crazy.
Ice Country sure was accurately named.
Like a winter wonderland with all those chunks of ice and frozen trees. Really cold, though.
I used to play in the winter part of the forest when I was little, but I was still frozen.
Your nose was frozen, and you were sniffing up a storm.
Look who's talking, Red Nose.
You had icicles dripping from your nose. It's funnier now than at the time.
If only we'd had an ice shaver. We could have made enough shaved ice to last a year. My specialty is the rainbow mix of all flavors in one. Maybe I'll open up a shop.
Who would want to eat shaved ice in that weather?
Uh-oh. I hadn't thought of that. But now that you mention it, my whole mouth felt numb after just a few bites.
So you did eat the snow. Shaved ice is better in hot climates.
Oh! Well, then I'll just bring the snow down to somewhere warmer.
How will you manage that? The snow will melt on the way.
But if no one wants to eat shaved ice when it's cold, and I can't take it with me somewhere warmer, what am I supposed to do about my shop?
A question for the ages.
Alrighty then. Good night, everybody, and see you next time on Secret of Mana. Goodbye.